So the way the video starts with the shampooing of the hair is kind of important because to start that experience where the person who's having their haircut is it's like the symbolic first gesture of like surrendering control, because when your head is in a shampoo sink, you have absolutely no real say. I mean, to be a little morbid, like, it would be really easy to kill someone when their head is in a shampoo sink. You have no control, and your throat is totally exposed. So I thought that was kind of important to kind of relay initially. I was really excited when Zach asked me to be a part of the video because the kind of conceptual relationship between, classically the client and me is something that, the psychology is something that I'm the most interested in, and no one ever really cares about that part or asks or wants to talk about that part. The dialogue is usually just about the style and the sort of fashion of the process. And I'm a lot more interested in the sort of the emotional dynamic and the exchange that's happening between the client and myself. Definitely Zach and Amber, they are people that I've cut. I've cut their hair many times, Zach for years now, and they are people that I can feel a pretty visceral surrender when they sit in the chair in front of me. And I've always said that when I feel someone trust me, the haircut is always going to be different than maybe what we may have first decided upon or expected, but better than whatever that was. It really takes hold and blossoms in this really incredible way. And I was really excited to have the opportunity to put that on film. When I talked about the haircut process with Zach, I brought up wigs because there's such an exaggerated sense of freedom when I'm cutting on a wig, right? Because I don't have someone's permanent image in my hands. I have this disposable silhouette, and there's no fear of damaging self-concept because you just take it off of your head if you don't like it. But what's great about that is that every single cut I did in this video, I think we all were kind of staring at afterwards being wow, this is a fucking amazing haircut. I want this haircut. Cutting into a wig is a really trippy process for me because the fibers of wig hair are so coarse. You can't even use conventional scissors, my actual hairdressing scissors, because it would blunt them out instantly. So I had to use these kind of crusty old scissors, and the experience was kind of sawing at it, or trimming a topiary, which is really beautiful to pick up on film. The exertion is amplified. You can see it. That contrasted to the really stoically peaceful look on everyone's face. I thought was really beautiful, that juxtaposition. The process of the haircut, unless you are involved in that trade, unless you are a hairdresser, that sort of liminal space, the time in that space is kind of a mystery for everyone else in the world, because what we see, if we ever see documentation of haircuts, is a before and an after. We don't ever see that process happening. It's pretty mysterious, and for me it's intensely emotional and spiritual. It's so abstract and it's so intimate. There's so much vulnerability. There are so many questions of power, differential in power. But the irony in me talking about this being a very powerful experience is a lot of the times I find myself kind of in the control energetically of the person that I'm cutting. I'm holding the scissors and I'm making the sculptural decisions, but I can feel them responding to me energetically. And so the power swings constantly back and forth between the two of us. And I think the video does a really beautiful job of relaying that. So I really enjoyed it. It was a singular experience for me to be able to tell my story.